This one is not. This particular book is a really good book that talks about how NASA may actually be bad for us and may have actually be holding us back from space travel. Not necessarily by the fault of NASA, but by funding and a lot of different variables.
Right.
And it's just a very, very interesting book. So check it out. You can go to SpaceVidcast.com/Amazon to see all of our pick of the weeks, and you can see. This is just a really good book. The other thing you can do is I've actually got a Kindle, and you can download this particular book to a Kindle. And if you use the link I provided, the SpaceVidcast.com/Amazon, and you purchase through those links, we do get a little bit of kickback, and we'll put that money right back into the show to help production quality and improve the show week after week to bring you bigger and better space news. So if you're thinking of buying a book, or if you really think that this is something that's interesting, it's a very good book. I recommend you get it. Definitely use that link and make it go from there.
Yeah, we're not buying me any jewelry or anything. It really, quite literally, is going directly back into the production of this show.
Just like half of my paychecks.
Yeah, that too.
Well, we'll be back with the main topic right after this.
This segment is sponsored by Brain Tonic. Get rid of the head fog with zero caffeine or processed sugar. For more information, go to spacevidcast.com/braintonic.
But I do say that space can be explored and mastered without feeding the fires of war, without repeating the mistakes that man has made in extending his writ around this globe of ours. There is no strife, no prejudice, no national conflict in outer space as yet. Its hazards are hostile to us all. Its conquest deserves the best of all mankind, and its opportunity for peaceful cooperation may never come again. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too.
And what an inspirational speech that was.
Absolutely.
And in 7 years, we basically had a non-existent space program
Nothing.
all the way to the moon.
Nothing.
And today, we're looking to take, drastically longer to do that exact same task and then move on to Mars. And even that particular topic, or being able to get to Mars, is in question. There are certain politicians who believe that we should not be going to Mars, who we cannot afford it. And that is the topic of today's discussion. Because should the United States be funding the advancement of the entire human race, is really what it comes down to.
Right.
I mean, it's a lot of money. We've got a clip that I'd like to show. This is from the late November Republican convention. This was CNN and YouTube, and we had a bunch of presidential hopefuls up on stage, and debate, excuse me, I'm sorry, I said convention. We've got the Republican convention coming to Minneapolis. This was a debate. Thank you, Fox.
On the brain.
And this was a question that was submitted via YouTube, and these are the different responses that they got to that. So check this out.
My name's Steve Nielsen, and this question comes to you from Denver, Colorado. JFK's vision put a man on the moon from a non-existent space program in about 7 years. The new vision for space exploration has provided about 15 years for that same feat. Meanwhile, Congress is pulling funding for humans to Mars research altogether. Is there a candidate amongst you willing to take a pledge on behalf of the Mars Society of sending an American to the surface of Mars by 2020? If not, what is your vision for human space exploration?
Governor Huckabee, NASA pumps some $5 billion into Florida's economy.
Whether we ought to go to Mars is not a decision that I would want to make, but I would certainly want to make sure that we expand the space program, because every one of us who are sitting here tonight have our lives dramatically improved because there was a space program. Whether it's these screens that we see or the incredible electronics that we use, including the GPS systems that got many of you to this arena tonight. Some of you were late because you didn't have one, by the way. Or whether it's the medical technologies that saved many of our lives or the lives of our families. It's the direct result of the space program. And we need to put more money into science and technology and exploration. Now, whether we need to send somebody to Mars, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, if we do, I've got a few suggestions, and maybe Hillary could be on the first rocket to Mars.
Congressman Tancredo, 30 seconds, please.
The question is a serious one and deserves a serious answer, and that is this. Look, we've been, how many times up here, how many questions have dealt with the issue of deficit spending, the debt out of control? And yet we have somebody saying, but would you spend more money on going to Mars? And a suggestion that we need to spend more money on space exploration. This is it, folks. That's why we have such incredible problems with our debt, because everybody's trying to be everything to all people. We can't afford some things, and by the way, going to Mars is one of them.
All right.
So, that's good point. We can't afford everything. We've got a huge deficit right now. Can we afford to send people to Mars? The chat room said, Kat said this guy's an idiot. Well, is he, though?
You know what?
Hang on. I'm going to pause you for a moment, because Fox just said Huckabee was better. Well, Huckabee made a joke of the whole thing. So he joked about the whole thing. I really didn't see a good answer in that whole, a whole two people, but still.
Well, I don't know if Huckabee necessarily joked about the entire thing. Sorry, I'm hitting my mic.
All right, fair enough.
Because you constantly are saying things like that to me.
That's true.
So maybe I'll just laugh at you next time you say something like that to me. But that is true. You can't deny that. The world would not go on without Tang. We all know that. Or comfy beds to sleep in. Of course, that is me now joking. But at the same time, and everyone is... everyone's allowed to their own opinion, of course. Mm-hmm. And I honestly didn't even catch the name of the second guy. That's how much attention I was paying. I apologize. But him talking about how we can't afford to fund going to Mars. And aren't you also the same person who keeps saying to me that we can't afford not to? We have
Me? Yeah, absolutely.
We have super volcanoes going on where the weather's getting horrible. We clearly are trying to put sulfur into the atmosphere that's just going to destroy our ozone layer. We have to get off this planet.
No, I understand that, but does it need to be the United States? Now, Fox asked a good question, which is, did the Democrats give a better answer? Well, the Democrats' answers are equally as scary. Now, I don't have video of that, but Obama's plan is to stall the Constellation project for 5 years and funnel that money into kindergarten. So the Constellation project, for those not in the know, is NASA's next generation shuttle, essentially. It's not a shuttle anymore. We're going back to essentially an Apollo rocket with an SRB at the bottom. Ooh, that was not good.
Me too. Yay.
I lost my train of thought. Oh, we're moving to the Constellation, and so that is what's going to be pushing us to the moon and then back to Mars. And he wants to funnel that into kindergarten. And Fox says, is kindergarten the future of mankind? It is, as a matter of fact. Our youth are the future. But if we are no longer leaders in space exploration, leaders in technology, because what is it, like 8% of all patents are somehow associated with NASA?
Right.
So, or is it patents or all technology as a whole? I don't remember.
I don't either.
Why is the United States